folks, it's the Red, and this is an extra video for Balloon Kid, where I'll talk about stuff regarding this game that didn't make it into the main playthrough. And since we did the Game Boy Color version for the main playthrough, I thought it'd be a good idea to do the regular Game Boy version for this video. And it's exactly what you would expect it to be. The exact same game, but with no color and with no way to save your progress. Hooray! Now, there's a few odds and ends in the main playthrough that I want to show before we move on to the other stuff. For example, this bee that I was trying to land on, but missed it in the main playthrough. But yes, as you can see, you can in fact ride on it as it goes in circles. See, I'm not crazy! Oh. Now here's something you can try if you feel like the bonus rooms are getting to be too easy. Try doing it without holding any balloons. Yeah, just do the whole bonus by just running and jumping. You don't have as much time to react to the balloons, so it can be kind of tricky even on the slowest speed. It gets really problematic if you wind up falling between the pipes, because it can be difficult to get out of there because of the way you bounce against walls in this game. Makes for an interesting challenge, so it's a good way to spice things up a little bit. Alright, now let's try doing some show-offery here. Get ready to see some amazing platforming! Nailed it! Okay, let's do it right this time. Yeah! That is a really tough jump to nail, let me tell ya. Okay, now let's try something really reckless. Jumping off of these fireflies has to be the most impractical way to cross this river. And that's exactly why I did it. Sometimes bouncing on these bumpers can lead to some wild and unexpected results. That's pretty fun. Now watch me launch this balloon bird into orbit. Pew! Simply amazing. Now here's a trick you can try in the late stages of the game. Normally these spikes on the ground would kill you as soon as you land on them, but if you press the jump button the moment you make contact with them, you'll jump away from them and not get killed. You do need some pretty exact timing to pull this off, though. And it also works in level 8 for jumping off of the fire that you find on the ground, which just looks kinda silly. You could even theoretically use this technique to jump across an entire section of fire, provided that you can keep performing frame-perfect jumps. Again, completely impractical, but fun nonetheless. Except that's not fun. By the way, in case you were wondering what happens when you get a game over, well, here it is. They cry about it. Yep, that's it. I mean, what'd you expect? They're kids. And then you'll be sent back to the title screen where you will have 2 continues, in which to resume your progress from the last level that you made it to. But once those are used up, well, then it's back to square one for you. This, of course, is different from the Game Boy Color version where you have a map screen and you could go back to a previous level to life grind if you want. Sadly, that is not possible in the Game Boy Black and White version. So, you just need to get good. And speaking of getting good, this game also has Balloon Trip, which returns from the NES game, and basically acts pretty much the same way. You're navigating across an endlessly spawning field of electricity that you need to navigate around, and just try to get the highest rank that you can by surviving as long as possible. A fun little game mode, very simple to play. You are playing under Balloon Kid's rule set, though, so be careful not to, say, press the B button in the middle of gameplay, because, yeah, that would be bad. And that just leaves Versus Mode, which, of course, I can't show my own gameplay of that, because that would require being linked to another copy of the game via link cable. So the best I can do is show some screenshots from some other footage that I found of this. So basically, 2 players are playing at once. This other character is Sam, by the way. And the goal here is to either collect more balloons than your opponent before the end of the stage, or make your opponent fall into the ocean. When you win 3 times, then you win. It's a neat little game mode, but the problem is there's only 1 stage for this game mode, so you're going to be playing through Pennsylvania every single time. It's certainly an interesting sounding game mode, but I can't see more than 5 to 10 minutes of gameplay out of this before you get bored and want to move on to something else. Still, I appreciate the effort to include this. And finally, there's one other thing I need to mention about Balloon Kid, and that is that there was another version of this game released, again, only in Japan. A little game called Hello Kitty World. A Famicom port of the Game Boy game featuring Sanrino characters. And it looks and sounds a good bit different from the Game Boy game. Now, I don't know much about the Hello Kitty universe, so I'm not familiar with most of the characters featured here. But let me tell you, this might be the definitive way to play this game, if for no other reason than because you don't have to deal with the screen crunch and can see the entire screen at all times. They've swapped out the Game Boys, indicating the bonus round, with a little panel with a strawberry on it. Interesting. They also stopped using the background blimps to promote violence, and now they all say, Kitty! At the end of every stage, you're taken to something of a celebration screen at the very end, where Hello Kitty slowly floats down into the screen, and then these balloons will pop and reveal some sort of fruit or something, and then she just kind of dances for a bit. It's cute, I suppose. It's different. And then after that comes the score tally before you move on to the next stage. Another thing I noticed is that even though all the music is pretty much the same, it is using the Dr. Mario sound font to do it all. Even some of the sound effects from that game can be heard here. Also, instead of numbers, this game uses icons to indicate each stage that you go to, and for the most part they all follow the themes from the original game. But then we get to the secret base stage, the last one in the game, and it's a hat? Are they trying to pass this off as a shopping mall or something? Oh yeah, heck of a shopping mall indeed, with the fire shooting out of these drums, the pistons that are trying to crush you, or the claws trying to drag you down into a fiery death. Oh yeah. And to top it all off, the most fitting music for the stage. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty much the exact same game. You do the same scenario, you get the same ending pretty much, except this time nobody's getting dunked into the ocean at the end. But yeah, with that, I think I've said just about everything I need to about Balloon Kid as a game. It's a pretty fun and interesting game, and if it looks appealing, I encourage you to go check it out, because, yeah, it's a fun time. But with that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.